It is now 14 minutes. It is now 14 minutes to 7 Kenyan time, and welcome back to Morning Express. We'd like to go through the dailies, but remember from 7 o'clock we'll have a panel in the studio, and we're going to be looking at some of the hot topics that have been making news and headlines over the week. So this would be a good time for you to let me know what has been hot for you. We could start from there, and you could do that via Twitter. The Twitter handle is at KTN News, or you can also tweet me directly, and that's at Michael G. Gitonga. Let me know what has been hot for you apart from the drama that we saw yesterday. And yeah, somebody told me that in Kenya Parliament there's never a dull moment, and that is absolutely true. So I know that's one of the things, of course, that was trending yesterday. But over and above that, let me know what else you think has been hot for you this week. Let's look at the dailies now. We'll start off with the Standard, where the headlines, as you would imagine, is to do with the State of the Nation address. Uhuru draws up 1.6 billion graft list. Now, the president yesterday promised to unveil a new list of corrupt kingpins together with an inventory of seized assets worth 1.6 billion. And of course, this would include some of the money that the UK had promised Kenya would receive. And I believe that was something to do in the tune of 55 million Kenyan shillings, which was stashed away. And this is to do with the case that has been going on in Jersey Island. So of course, that is part of the money. The president revealed his new assault on corruption as he blamed slow graft prosecution in the judiciary and governors, whom he accused of failing to push for accountability in the counties. Now, we do know that there was a prediction of what the president was likely to discuss in this particular State of the Nation address, given that there was the CSA symposium that took place earlier on last month, towards the middle of last month. Then we had the deputy president also address the nation through a town hall meeting of sorts. And of course, some of the achievements that the president highlighted was to do with the economy. The GDP, he says, grew by 5.8%. Of course, these are figures that we intend to look at and scrutinize closer and use a magnifying glass if need be, just to clarify how true they are and how accurate, especially the accuracy bit. And yeah, the GDP grew by 5.8% in 2015. Not that we're doubting, but it's also just good to make sure that we have the facts right. In tourism, 1.2 billion shillings worth of incentives for charter flights was introduced. We have the roads, we have energy. In 2015, 634 megawatts of new power, raising the total installed capacity to 2,282 megawatts. Amongst many other things, there is education, there is health, but of course, one of the areas that many had wanted to see or hear what the president was going to say is areas possibly that the government had failed. But of course, that did not come out. But even beginning with our debate yesterday on State of the Nation right here in the studio, those allied to the Jubilee side of politics were very careful with how they use their words. They said it is work in progress. They didn't want to call it failure, but called it work in progress. But anyway, you be the judge. Still on the front page of the Standard, we have pictures there of ODM boss boos and protests and throws spanner into president's scorecard address. And of course, the country was treated to 30 minutes or thereabouts of what I'd call drama, with whistles going off all over the place as soon as the president tried to make the State of the Nation address. And of course, it just trickled down, but eventually there was calm restored, and he was able to proceed with his speech. Moving on to page 3 of the Standard, where a sad story kind of reminds me of the story of Romeo and Juliet. But this is a schoolgirl and a boda lover who committed suicide. Now, the story goes that the mother of this particular girl, who's a schoolgirl, discovered that she was pregnant, and after she discovered that the girl was pregnant, the relationship between the girl and the mother, kind of went south, so to speak. And apart from just going south, involved also this one Joseph Wachira, who is a neighbor. And after excuse me, after Joseph discovered that the mother knows that the girlfriend is pregnant and that she was not having any of that, he went and hung himself. And the girl, after hearing her boyfriend had hung himself, went and killed herself as well. Very sad, tragic story. I'd say love gone sour. Anyway, moving on to page 6, you've got the full details of the MPs who were kicked out, and as they brought in chaos. And we have TJ Kajwang there with a placard that he was holding saying that Jubilee are thieves. And I can see Moses Kajwang in the background there. I can't see what is written on his placard, but I can see the whistle in his mouth. So we'd be confidently calling him a whistleblower. Hopefully we'll have him here on Monday and see whether he can just let us know what exactly was the intention that they wanted to achieve by whistleblowing and disrupting the presidential speech and ultimately being thrown out of the House. But also still on matters of the speech yesterday and what are going to be the repercussions over time. Ugunja residents are actually going to be the biggest losers according to this particular article, and that is because Ugunja MP Opiyo Wandayi and his constituencies are going to be good losers, because he was literally thrown out. He was asked to leave, but he did not exit, so he was thrown out. And part of the penalty for that is that he is not allowed to attend any session this particular until February 9th, 2016. So, well, what it basically means is that for a year, or rather 2017, sorry, yes, February 2017, February 13th, 2017. So for the next 1 year, the people of Ugunja actually do not have a representative in Parliament. Well, that's a price to pay. Now on to page 8. And apparently, Masai Morans kill another lion as outrage mounts over KWS action. And I'm sure many of us are aware of Mohawk, the lion that was killed in the full glare of public and in cameras filming that. And of course, KWS have come under a lot of scrutiny and fire from residents world over, not just in Kenya. And this is because, well, there's a question: why didn't they just sedate the animal rather than kill it? But according to KWS, their defense is that given the number of people that were in that area, and of course the animal feeling cornered was a danger to anyone that was in that particular area, and of course by virtue of the fact that it's a wild beast, nobody can predict what is going to happen. So the ranger took it upon himself to shoot and kill Mohawk. Now, apparently Morans have come out and killed another lion nicknamed Lemek, which of course would be very, very sad. All right, and well, that's what we have for you on The Standard. Let's now take a look at The Nation this morning, where the headlines is Uhuru Braves MP chaos to give Jubilee scorecard. And of course, this was the chaos that was witnessed yesterday with whistleblowing coming from members of CORD. And according to some of those legislators, it was mainly ODM members of parliament who were out to disrupt and make a point, or make their point known to the public and to the whole world, as it were, by whistleblowing and ensuring that the president was not going to be able to make his State of the Nation address without interruption. However, he braved that, and to use his words, he said, after the entertainment, let's now get to serious business. And what he was calling serious business is the pledges that he gave. These were to do with security, modernization of security agencies, creating a single command structure in counties. Though he also talked about corruption, and of course blamed the judiciary for taking too long and using technicalities to delay the conviction of those of suspects who were found with corruption allegations. and he was asking the judiciary to do what they can to ensure that those technicalities are not do not delay the course of justice. NYS also featured and the services challenged by a key driver of transformation agenda, and of course there are many other things that he said that Jubilee has achieved. Of course, one of the things that they were expecting should be said would be the failures that Jubilee may have faced, but like we mentioned earlier, it is work in progress. On to page 3 of the Daily Nation, and in case you are wondering who the member of parliament who refused to honor the fallen soldiers by refusing to stand, there is a picture right there, and it's Kitutu Masaba MP Timothy Bosire, and of course the president referred to him, the president saying, it's not me asking you to stand, but I'm asking you to stand in honor of the fallen soldiers that defend you and me, and you included. So of course that was another fiasco that we were treated to yesterday during the State of the Nation address. All right, moving on to page 9. Homes boss seized over lack of permit, and this is a home that was closed, a home that was a home to more than 150 children rescued from it's called Makongeni in Thika, that was being run illegally. Other allegations that were against this particular home is that the children were being molested, and of course that is subject to investigation. Moving on now to page 10. Debt-ridden KQ is to sack 600 employees in recovery plan. Of course, Kenya Airways has been a subject of debate, being one or rather registering one of the biggest losses known to this country, and of course wondering whether it's going to be shut down or what was going to be the way forward. But now, in part of their plan to ensure that it stays afloat or on air, basically 600 employees of its rationalization plan starting next month. Now the CEO is out saying that it is going to be done according to the law, and every jot and tittle of the law will be followed regarding that particular exercise. That's what we have for you in the Daily Nation. Let's now quickly whiz through the Star. And the headlines is, we've done well, according to Uhuru. And Uhuru emphasized the State of the Nation address that Jubilee government has achieved a lot. He asked for support to deliver what was ongoing. There's also a picture there of the MPs as they were being thrown out, and yeah, that of course for them is going to have adverse effects after, and well, let's see what happens. There's also an interesting cartoon on page 3 of the Star, where we have the sad state of our nation. We have government blowing their trumpet, that's on page 3, and the opposition blowing a whistle. And of course that would confidently describe what was happening yesterday with Uhuru Kenyatta there blowing the trumpet on behalf of the government, and the opposition blowing their whistle to ensure they disrupt the State of the Nation address. All right, there's also another very interesting picture. They say a picture speaks 1,000 words on page 6 of the Star. And that is Suba MP Millie Odhiambo as she protests outside the building, and there was all sorts of memes that are going around yesterday, and of course they were depicting this particular picture of Millie Odhiambo, who is not new to controversy. She is well known for you know, being controversial and being on the other side of things as they are expected. But anyway, this particular picture of course expressing her emotion at that particular time on what was going on, and well, we'll wait and see as to whether they said that that was just the beginning. It was not just heckling, but it was the beginning of what we're yet to see. So we'll wait and see what it is the beginning of. On page 10, Kidero, 18 governors to be charged with abuse of office, and there are major corruption issues with governors in almost all the 47 counties, says the EACC Chief Executive Halake Wako. He blames court for delaying prosecution. Again, this is what the president was mentioning, and he said that it's the courts that are delaying the prosecution of those who are found with graft, and of course he was saying that that needs to be speeded up. But again, the question of course would be, how will it be speeded up unless you're going to take shortcuts when it comes to obeying the law? But of course we're not expecting that to happen, so we do expect that the law will be followed. And page 22, an interesting article there in the Star, and it is titled "Spicing Up Sex Life After Giving Birth." I rest my case right there, and I think we'll finish our newspaper review right about there.